All right, Jason Rona back here at the Indoor National Series Final. We're here with Ron Schuur from Hobbywing, Schuurspeed. And Ron, we like to catch up during these events. We're here at the finals again. This is our second event we've had here at Beach RC. And tell us a little bit about your travels over and, kind of working with the guys this weekend and getting that hobby wing stuff all represented in the pits and your customer service.
Yes. Well, last weekend we were in San Diego, so the ride here was a cross-country trip. Can't complain. There was no drama, no delays. Perfect.
Yeah.
So that was good. And being here again is much more pleasant this year because it hasn't snowed.
Okay.
And last year it was just so cold. I remember just freezing. But on to the good stuff. The guys are doing very well. I mean, the mains that just ran here, the A1s and so forth. I mean, Spencer's done very, very well with it. Ty Testman's right there. I mean, Max Floor made it in, and I know Aaron Kaufman, he got up there. So we've had some really good representation, and just walking around and getting some questions, I'm seeing a lot of guys we don't even sponsor running our speed controls and motors. So I'm very happy. I mean, it's really working well.
Obviously, you're real familiar with the the 17.5 category. We're doing the 21.5, of course, and in 17.5, we got some guys running strong in those classes as well. I know AJ, one of our guys, he's running well.
He's our guy too.
A month ago, he swept the classes here at the event here, and now he's coming back. And a little more competition, I think, this time for him. With we got Paul Ciccarello out there, and we got Matt Klein, giving him a good battle there in stock, and he's going to have to earn it this weekend.
Well, Paul runs Hobbywing Speed Controls, as does AJ. So Matt just has to slide away.
Yeah. But I mean, if you can get
Matt's fast. I like Matt. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I tease.
I talked to him yesterday, and this is something you could probably relate to as well. But watching some other guys, Matt was telling me that he likes to run the stock class because he sees it as more time with his two-wheel drive buggy. He's like that. He's like, that's just the class I like. And he's like, I just want to run a two-wheel buggy out there and get more familiar with the track, get more laps. Of course, he runs four-wheel, but you can see he said that he tries to use that as his advantage to get a little extra time running stock and then mod.
I think it actually helps in both ways because when you're running stock, as fast as the stock cars are today, I mean, there's not much difference out here. I think it helps on both sides. And Matt's a very good stock racer, and he's a very good mod racer. So his mod cars and stock cars are so close in time, it's got to help him. Gotta help him.
And then we got Paul. He's racing with me too in the 40+ class, and it really goes to show you that really the hard work and the dedication. Even being a slightly older racer like Paul. I mean he's competitive in everything out there. I mean the two-wheel mod class and four-wheel drive, and he's right there in everything.
Since he's switched over to X-Ray, Paul's been at the top of the charts in every class he runs in, and he puts a lot of time in, and that's what it takes. I mean, you have to learn your radios, you have to learn your speed controls, learn the motor, learn the car, and he's on it right now.
He is.
Everywhere he goes, he's at the top.
Yeah, we always go to him at some of these 1/8 scale races. We talk to him about setups and tires and stuff because he is out there running a bunch of classes. Yes. You'll run like a PMB, a Psycho Nitro Blast, and there'll be 50, 60 races, and you got to check in with everybody because the track it's changing. And I would assume it'd be the same for electronics. Sometimes you can have more power, sometimes you can have less power. Even in 8 scale. I mean, those 8 scale e-buggies are just, amazingly fast, but the track doesn't always hold that kind of power.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much adjustment today. You came up when I was working with Spencer, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'll just throw it out here if it's a good time with you, is on the Hobbywing, the XR10 Pro G2, the newest one, we can now go in and change the drive frequency, across the throttle band. And that normally causes a little bit of a glazed over look from people. But, we're always talking about the drive frequency, and the lower you go, the more rip it's going to have off the corner. And the higher it goes, the more efficient, cooler the motor runs. Well, now with this adjustment, and we're trying to work through it now. We're doing a lot more with stock, but now we're playing with it in mod too. But we can run a really low frequency up in the beginning of the throttle and then just have it ramp up toward the end. And we're finding that we're getting some temperature out of the motors and allowing them to run faster longer, because heat's the enemy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I brought that up to you. I'm like, I see you coming over with the box with Spencer, and you guys are looking at it. And
oh, one thing, you've got to use the phone to do this. You've got to use your the Wi-Fi app has got to be used, because it uses the graphics, and the box can't do the graphics.
And you were showing there was a chart on there, or a kind of a graph showing.
It's a graph, and you just use your finger and drag it to where you want it.
Okay.
And then there's another one that we've been working with a lot more in stock, where you can set your initial throttle point and then how the throttle feel's going to be. So like in stock, a lot of the guys say, I want it to respond quicker. Well, then I just go in there and I just drag the beginning point up, but you can work with it all through the range. So that's all there, but that has to be done through the Wi-Fi in your phone for the graphics.
So you come in, and if you don't have the Wi-Fi on board, you can plug it in, do it in the pits. So you don't don't have to have the extra equipment in if you don't want, right?
No. I don't know too many people that race with the Wi-Fi module, and there's some people that do it.
Yeah.
But when the car's running and the car's on, it doesn't work anyway. So you have to do it when the car's off.
So when you're adjusting something like that and doing it in modified, it's kind of a good opportunity to run that, because with the big triple we have here, you're probably learning quite a bit in terms of controlling that car coming through the sweeper straight away and then launching. So you're probably being able to fine tune that. Right?
That's exactly what we're doing. I'm just trying to, because this jump on this track is, I think I measured it or talked to Brent, and it's like 30 feet roughly.
Okay.
That's almost, 90 feet. I'm sorry. Is it? Now I'm confused myself. No, 30 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90 feet would be a whole football field,
Would
it
be
sound like.
That'd be a huck.
But it'd be a long one. But yeah, you got to come out of you come down the straightaway and you got that corner, but you still have to just make sure you can get it up. So we were, to get it up in the air, we dropped the frequency a little bit down there. So when he eased off a little bit and then hit it again, you got the frequency, and it would immediately go high, so it'd be back efficient again. But it gave the rip, because a mod motor, you really don't want to run it under 8K under normal circumstances, and we're all the way down to 4.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal there, right?
It seems small, but it's a big deal. A mod motor running at 4, if you did it at 4 constant, then you'd probably, it'd definitely get hot. Definitely get hot.
So what do you see? We're kind of wrapping up the series here. We're we're doing the 21.5, of course. We got a lot of activity with Hobbywing this year. What do you see kind of moving in late into the year here, and what are the Hobbywing fans and supporters out there got to look forward to for next year?
I'm hoping we're continuing on with the 21.5, and I assume that's all good still. We have the new G3R motors from Hobbywing that we kind of did a little bit of an introduction at Cleveland at the indoor race, and that was the stock handout motor for 12 scale and World GTR, and the reception of that was very positive. And from working with them, working with the motor, and just, I've only gotten one of each to play with, so I don't have the whole thing, but it's definitely going to be a race motor. That's going to be, I think it's going to be a force. It seems to be very good.
One thing, I don't know if I brought this up to you before, we'll bring this up now, but I was talking to Mayfield yesterday, and we're like, I kind of threw this idea at him. I said, I've always wanted to try at these events or a single event doing a builder's class, which to me means, and this takes some support back from some of the manufacturers in terms of the kits, but the vision that I had for it was, you get there and you have a kit, you have the electronics, you have the bodies clear, and basically everybody gets the same amount of time to build and prepare the car and race that weekend with that vehicle that they did that weekend. And of course, this is working with the manufacturers to get the kits available and have it reasonable for people to pick up and do this. But to me, I've kind of always thought it was a neat idea because I think there's some people that think they're good builders, and I think some people think they're good drivers. So in this situation, I feel like kind of getting the hobby and the builder side back into it, that people can feel like, hey, that's my strength is building and getting it ready. And if I can do that and I can dial mine in and, get it better than the other guy right away, then I have an advantage and another thing that can make it beneficial to them to do well in the race.
That's that's pretty interesting. I'm sitting here just thinking how long of the time you would give them, but I've seen that done in on-road, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think I would be interested in helping out with that, but I think the time factor for these cars would be the issue.
Yeah, what I would say is, it's kind of a, they could practice with other cars during the day, that's not in that class. But hey, you got to start at, whenever the doors open, say it's 9 a.m., you get your equipment and you start building, and by that night for seating or something, that has to be ready to go and on the track by seating. 5 o'clock seating run is you got to paint the body. It's got to be white, silver, pink, whatever. You can put cool stickers on it, whatever you want to do to dress it up, but the whole thing start to finish just has to be done there. And to me, that would appeal to me. Like, I would be into that because I'm like, it gives me something to do for a long time, and kind of that goal of let's get it out there and let's see how this thing's gonna roll out.
I think there's a lot of promise in that.
Yeah.
You'd have to limit the class, obviously, but that will add a twist to it. That would be fun. We got to do something to make more excitement.
Well, I mean, to me, what I see is a lot of these building aspects are becoming so influential in the hobby now with the scale competitions, the crawler trucks, and these guys, we were just doing a monster truck event. People like to build again, and they like to build these things. We went through a period where we were doing RTRs, everything was done for you. Now we're back, sort of the popular stuff is you're doing it yourself again because it is a hobby. So I kind of feel like, hey, maybe we could get some racers interested in kind of getting back on the building side of things and enjoying it on that side of things. So,
question, since we're live here, at the end of the race, where do they go?
In the tech? No. Well, it's their opportunity. They can keep the vehicle. Depends if the electronics are rented versus purchased. But they would maybe
fine
give that
details.
Back. Yeah, the fine details. Yes. But I would think the car itself would be theirs. Start to finish.
Well, maybe we could do a local charity type thing and donate the cars or something.
Yeah, I think it'd be a fun opportunity, and I just thought I would run it by. I was talking to Mayfield about it because he said one of his things was he wanted to do it with an 8-scale car, and he's like, but his idea was to start in the morning. He had to start building, but there was the main was starting at 5 in the afternoon, and whenever you got your car done and ready to go, you could start the main.
Okay.
So his thing was there was the race to build and to get it right. The main starts at 5, and whoever gets out there first has the first lap, and so on and so forth. So his idea was actually really kind of interesting because now there's 2 races going on, right? There's the one on the track and the one to build it right. Because he's like, well, sure, you could just blow through the build, but is it going to last to your 45-minute hour main? So he's like, if you can build it right, you can get it to last, and you get the first guy out on the track. That would be a big deal because following this live, you would see, it'd be cool because you're like, oh yeah, Ty's almost done with his car, and he's about ready to throw it out, and all of a sudden guys are throwing him out there almost at the same time and getting that first lap. I mean, it's a different thing that I think we haven't really gone down this road yet.
It's an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be pretty exciting.
So run us down the guys that you're helping this weekend. Obviously, we talked about Spencer already, and the results you're looking for from the guys on the track. We had a main already, and just kind of wrap us up and lead us into 2020.
Well, excuse me. I expect Spencer's going to do pretty well. He's qualified well. He's been very consistent through qualification. First main, he ran strong. I think Ty is very quick. He just had a couple bad breaks, so he could be a sleeper here and come up and get up at the top. And I would look for something like that to happen. Dustin's been running quick, but as far as the guys I want to see or Hobbywing would like to see would be Spencer, Ty for sure, and then we've got a couple guys, Aaron, like I mentioned before, Max Flores out there, and I'd like to see them have good races, solid races. But I think it's a little too much to ask from those guys to probably get up into the top 4.
Yeah, when you're clean up there in that nice grid position, it's hard to beat on a 5-minute race.
It's very tough because if you have any bobbles, even if you're in the top 4 and have a slight bobble, I mean, you just run out of time to catch back up when you're only a second to a half a second slower, so per lap, or the give and take, so you just don't have enough laps to pick it up.
All right, Ron, well, thanks for joining us. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you like any of these ideas we're throwing out there, just kind of off the top of our head, let us know. See if if you like this idea, if you want to participate, let us know of the Mayfield class idea, our class idea of the builders class, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.